right, yo, what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters? I'm gonna lift that up a little bit. Fellow radiators of love, there we go. My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, December 20th of 2024. I appreciate you all joining me in this video, and I'm trusting that you guys are having a wonderful week so far. I know a lot of people, it's probably like the last day that they work. They'll have the whole weekend off, they'll have the whole next week off, and then leading up to New Year's. So, yeah, happy holidays to everyone. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video, see how you can be better prepared to navigate those celestial energies. Well, at least if you're in the States, you're going to be waking up to the moon now in Virgo, which is going to make things feel a lot more real, and everyone's going to be a little bit more persnickety and wanting things to look and be a certain way, and people are going to want to feel a certain way too. And it's interesting now that, we have this moon here. It will square Mercury today, but the main thing with today is that it is the last full day of the sun in Sagittarius, because when you wake up on Saturday morning, at least if you are here in the States, if you're in Europe, this will be, obviously earlier for you guys, but if you are here in the States, you will wake up to the sun in Capricorn. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, this sun in Sag on this last degree is like the last major fire energy that we're going to have for a while after leaves here. Yes, we'll have Mercury that's in Sag, but it still is in its detriment, and it's still moving slow, right? We do have Mars that's retrograde in Leo, so it doesn't have its firepower. So as far as like strong fire energy, this is the last little bit that we're going to have for a while, and I'll show you guys that too. I mean, yeah, we'll have Chiron, but it's Chiron, so it's not really the easiest energy to deal with, right? So we see that moon today. It's going to make its way throughout Virgo, and like I said, it will come into a square with Mercury here towards the evening, around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see that moon square over to Mercury here at 8 degrees. 8 degrees is actually my rising, so the moon actually will be squaring that. I also have Jupiter at around like 11 degrees of Virgo, so I'm kind of getting hit from those aspects. I'm actually going through a Jupiter square. My progress Jupiter is 14 degrees. In any event, like I said, this moon in Virgo, yeah, it's wanting to feel like things are in order. It's wanting to feel like it has all of its ducks in a row. It's wanting to feel like it has all the details ironed out, but we have anything but all the details ironed out, and especially with that square over to Mercury, which is still trying to figure out things, and we may have a little bit of clarity, but it's not really the clarity or the information that we want. It's more so we get a little bit more context, but we don't necessarily get all the answers. We're probably not going to really get anything until Mercury comes out of the shadow. And I would say even until Mercury comes into Capricorn is when things start to really materialize. So this is going to be an interesting one where, like I said, emotionally we're going to be wanting to feel like we need more answers or need to know right now, and we're just simply not going to have that. This sun in Sagittarius is like this last little injection of inspiration and motivation to keep moving through these times that are challenging and that can be, a bit even cold. We are moving into the winter time, at least here in the northern hemisphere. And like I said, this is the last little bit of, I would say, potent and strong fire energy that we're going to have. And remember, what is fire? Fire is the motivation. It is the inspiration. It is the creativity. In many ways, it can be the thing that kind of gets us going, right? So that's just something to consider. And let's just even take a look at. So going into Saturday, you will see that sun is going to hit 0 degrees here around 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do think that it's interesting that as soon as the sun comes into Capricorn, and this is the solstice period, that we do actually have the moon opposed Saturn, and Saturn, of course, is dispositing the sun. So there's no surprise there. I think that this just speaks to, even though emotionally things may not necessarily seem all there and all the details may not necessarily seem like they're going to work, we have to trust in the process and the divine timing of things. Saturn is the keeper of time. It is in Pisces. This is about having trust and faith that things are going to work out, even when it seems like it's not going to. But I will go ahead and show you, just in general, you can see that as far as fire energy, it's now just Mars retrograde in Leo. And yeah, Mars doesn't want to move backwards. It always wants to keep moving forward. And especially here in Leo, where it could really be bold and passionate it's going backwards and it's going to go back into its fall of Cancer. So Mars is not happy. Mercury, in its detriment, getting ready to have to oppose Jupiter again, right? They're both in their detriment. So Mercury, not happy, right? Chiron is in Aries. And Chiron has been oscillating in this zone for quite a while now. And like I said, Chiron is this area where we do have to kind of go through some stuff to find our superpowers and to find, that unique energy that only we really can bring to the table. And there's wisdom that comes there. We learn with Chiron. We learn through the trials and tribulations. We learn through our wounding. We learn through our so-called traumas, if you will. But we don't. But with Chiron and Aries, there can be a tendency to over-identify with them, which is what this entire retrograde has been about. So the fire energy is not there. So if you are a fire sign, you're probably not, you're going to feel like your fire is just kind of petering out. I'm just going to be honest with you. Or if you have potent fire energy, right, it's just going to feel a bit flat. And the fact that we kind of go into Saturday, where most people's holiday is going to be starting around this time, it's like Friday is going to be kind of like this last ditch effort, but because the energy is not really there, Friday, this day is not the day to try and get like a Hail Mary or a home run or try to, force something to happen or try to make some big things go just because it's the last little bit of potent fire energy that we had. This is about observing, this is about appreciating the things that we already have and about, instead of trying to force the fire to be bigger, take care and appreciate the flame that is there. Metaphorically speaking, and tend to that flame. Don't let that go out because it's not going to ever just go away altogether. It's just not as much here for it. Sure, we do have a decent amount of air energy, Venus, Pluto, Jupiter, right? So that can feed some of the fire, so that can definitely help. But at the same time, we have to work a little bit harder and dig a little bit deeper to find those reserves. But we'll see. So this is December 21st, the solstice, right? And just kind of pay attention to Mars and Mercury, right? So as we continue to move forward, we're going to see Mars is going to slip into Cancer. That's going to be January 7th. This is going to be around the time that Mercury is getting ready to slip out of Sagittarius, right? And then, bam. So you have from December 21st to January 9th, right? So maybe 2.5 weeks until the only thing in fire is Chiron and the North Node. And the North Node is not going to be there for very long because it will slip into Pisces a few days later. And then all that's left is Chiron, right? So outside of this, the only thing that we're going to be having in fire is whenever the moon transits Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. So you don't really have a lot left as far as the fire energy goes. And you're going to see this play out in the world. And this is about how can you cultivate that light and that fire within and not allow it to be petered out or not allow the external world to blow out your fire. It's something that has to be present within you. And, and one thing I do want to point your attention to is at this point we have Vesta, right? Vesta is this minor asteroid, which is called the little flame. It's that little bit within us that it's ever present. It's always burning. It's not a boisterous fire. It's not a massive fire. It's not a wildfire. It's that small little flame that, is within all of us. Vesta can rule, in many ways, some of our deeper sensitivities. It can rule things like virgins. It can rule that. It can rule, even innocence in a sense. But like I said, it's that small little flame that we can retreat to if we ever need to fill ourselves back up. And it's, like I said, it's gentle. It's not boisterous. It's not in your face. It's like a calm warmth, if you will. It's going to be in Scorpio. So, yeah, it's not in a fire sign, but it is in Scorpio. And Scorpio is the most fiery of the water signs, right? It is traditionally ruled by Mars. So there is a fire-like aspect to this. So I think by the time that January 12th comes, we're going to need to kind of dig a little bit deeper in the Scorpio world. And maybe we have to dig past and swim past some of those emotions that, may ironically seem heavy, and maybe it seems like the deeper you go, the more pressure there is. But at some point, there's a bit of a breakthrough period, and we can kind of, have this sort of aha moment, and then some of this weight can be lifted off, right? So, like I said, when it comes to this fire energy, at least in the different various signs, it's going to run out. Friday, this is really the last day where you're going to feel it at this current strength. So it's just going to get weaker until January 12th. It's just going to get weaker and weaker, So like I said, it's not a bad thing, because there's times, there's a lot of times where, like, there may not be that much air, there may not be that much earth, there may not be that much water. Right now, there's not going to be a lot of fire, and it is wintertime, so it makes sense, right? Let's get into the cards, shall we? So, like I said, this is a time about observation, being present with ourselves, being present with those around us, our family members, our loved ones. This is about cultivating that warmth that we have with ourselves, with each other, with spirit, and not allowing the external world. I think it's okay to be, obviously, we're all connected to the external world. There's no way to run away or escape from those sort of things. You used to be able to easily be able to escape information as it comes through. Now we can't. So we just can't at this point. We're all interwoven, we're interconnected. We always have been, but now it's harder to escape the information. How can you live your life in a way to where that information, while there's power in knowing what's going on, there's also power in not allowing it to determine your internal vibration? So that's the big question that we're going to be asking ourselves over the next 19 years, with Pluto being in Aquarius. So let's see what we got going on card-wise. Yeah, I have the Three of Coins. Yeah, I really like this, because this does talk about camaraderie and coming together and building something. I do really like this card. I do kind of want to read. It's kind of interesting too, because normally it shows people working together, but this one actually shows this individual who, I'm guessing this is some sort of like drum or something like that. And then there's the other two kind of like masked. They kind of look like those like Japanese masks, whatever, like that, like those Japanese oni masks, but they're kind of in the back, and I can't tell if they're necessarily evil or ill-intentioned, but they kind of do look like it. But he seems like he's just vibing in his own energy. So I do kind of want to read it just so I can get some context for the image itself. So let's see. It is from Nepal. It's Tamang. I hope I'm saying that right. Mythology. The Three of Coins represents learning from one another. The fierce. Oh my gosh, how am I gonna? Banjhakari. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. I'm guessing these two. Okay, I got it. So these two fierce beings, if you will, they're teaching their apprentice how to become a shaman. They are demanding teachers, but their student is dedicated. All three put in hard work that pays off with the success of a new generation. I actually do kind of like that. This is about coming together and holding each other accountable, but at the same time, creating that space, and that will foster growth, if you will. So they may look kind of dangerous, they may look mean and stuff like that, but really, they're actually his teachers. And these teachers, it could be, I kind of seen like the red as like, maybe the divine masculine, and then the blue could be the divine feminine, or it could be reversed. I don't know, but they are teachers, and yes, they are demanding, and I suppose that throughout life, the emotions that we feel, the thoughts that we have. So this could be the emotions and then the thoughts. It's like they are teachers, right? They're tools, and they are definitely teachers. But this apprentice, he's going with the flow, and they are working together to create a new reality, a better reality, a greater version of themselves, and that's really what it comes down to, right? So I'll draw another card. Why not? Because then that's pretty interesting too. I do think it's also interesting that one of them is carrying a sickle. So that's actually about like harvesting, which definitely is very very Virgo vibes with the harvest. And I think it's interesting that I draw this with the moon being in Virgo. I also have the Two of Wands. Yeah, so, we got to be able to pick the direction of which way we're going to go. And I think you don't want to overthink it today, honestly. So, honestly, the way to go should make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe we're feeling a little bit split right now. So, those who are feeling split, that are perhaps overthinking which way to go, like I said, this moon is going to square Mercury today. So, you're not going to know exactly, you're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to know if the route that you pick, because you may ask yourself, if I pick this route, am I going to make $1,000,000? I mean, you don't know. You really don't know. So if you sit around and just wait for the answer, for the absolute answer, you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to move. You're going to stay stagnant. Better to just pick a route and go down it and have faith. And yeah, if you hit some speed bumps, which you inevitably will, regardless of what route you take, it's better to move forward than to stay stagnant and to not move. Because even if it's the wrong route, there is a way to get back on track. And that's what it comes down to. That's going to do it for your daily astrology forecast. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. And if you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. But as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you all on the weekend astrology forecast. Peace.